Hi guys, welcome back. We are here with a new tutorial for a new machine I was developing yesterday or last night. So first warning, this is no way a simple machine. This is quite an advanced machine, and I guarantee that you may get one thing wrong which will throw the whole machine off. So please follow carefully. I would recommend probably grabbing a pen and paper, because I will be giving opportunity for you to pause throughout the video, pretty much for most command blocks, so you can write the command down, because most of the commands are very similar and they change just by one digit or two digits, and if you miss something it can throw the whole thing off. And before I get flooded with comments saying it doesn't work, you're going to need to check the whole machine, because that's going to be the reason why it doesn't work. Is something was missing or something was mistyped or something. So please follow carefully. You don't have to be a beginner, advanced. You can be a beginner doing this machine, but you just follow carefully, and you'll get it. But it may just take some time, so be patient. Because good things come in time. So what I'm going to do is just set my score to a 10-digit number. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. That I can't go any. I can go bigger than that in sense of I can go to 2.1 billion and whatever the other numbers are for the highest score. But that's the kind of the maximum amount of digits. And what I've done is I've found a way to kind of convert each separate digit, so the 10th, the 100th, the 1000th, the 10,000th digit, into separate numbers, and then relay that back to you in the chat. Or you could use the machine to convert it into things like signs. Or I took the theory that I had done before in functions, which was about 300, over 300 commands in a function file, and then converted numbers into particles. If you see my new map that's coming out today, Dropper, I've converted someone's score into floating particles, Scoreboard, which is pretty cool. But I wanted to try and find a vanilla way of doing it, and I managed to actually condense it down to not actually that many, because this machine bit here, which is about exactly 20 command blocks, is the 300 odd commands that I have in a function file. The rest are just the display and the setup and everything. So I'll show you what it does. It doesn't display it in one. There's no way to kind of group it together, so it displays it as individual numbers, which can correlate to one big number. So when I press this button, it says your balance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9. So it works for anything 0 plus. So if I set my score to just 1, 2, 3, 4, it will show some zeros first, because it's converting the whole maximum amount of digits. And it shows I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've used the Scoreboard money, for example, but it can be for anything. So whatever you want to translate. And the good thing is there's one command block you have to change to make this, if you wanted this multiple times in your world. Say if you want one to show someone's money, another one to show something else you're tracking, whatever, you just change one, and then you can use all the other scoreboards, because they'll only be interacting with one machine at a time. The only thing you'll probably have to change is the armor stand, but you could probably change one of the commands to include an area, so it only targets the one armor stand that is for this machine. But I'll show you that when I get to it. So the setup, you're going to need first a scoreboard. All these ones you don't have to have in command blocks. you can just do these in the chat. I'll just put them in here to save them when I did them. This you probably already have if you've already got money, but if you're setting up from scratch, then you want to set up your scoreboard that you are translating. So I'm using money, but if you've already got a score that you're currently using, then you can skip that one. And then you need one for us to compare, or us to transfer the money to, because there's a lot of taking away and adding, so we don't want to do that to their actual scoreboard. So add a scoreboard called score_check, and then there's 10. So I'm going to start off with this one, but we need a scoreboard per digit. So for the 10th digit, the 1. So if they've just got 1 0 0 0 0 0 1, and so on. So actually, I'll start off with the other one. Didn't realise I did it the other way around. So what I've got is scoreboards that are very similar. It's just called score 1, and then it increases by 0 until we get up to 1 billion. So if you have a keyboard, it's probably good to write this in the command block, and then control pick block, so you save it, put down 10, and then just tweak it by however many zeros you need to add, but double check you've got 1 0 added on each one. So this one is adding score 10. I'm going to quickly go through these so you can pause. Score 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and a billion. So if I do a scoreboard objectives lists, I've got some other ones, but you'll see that I've got one. It should look like this. So you've got score 1, 10, 100,000, and all the ones. It should go down and add 1 0 each time, and then your score check. Don't worry about these other ones. Therefore, my other stuff in the world. So I've got the money one. So that's all the scoreboards that you need for the setup, and then we'll look into the commands. So this is 8 minutes in, and we are already on the start. So this, I'm going to try and group it into kind of how it works, so I can explain how it works at the same time. First, we need to set their score to 0 on each individual score. I don't know what I'm going to call this, but it's the background score for each number, each it's not decimal place, but there is a word for the type of 10th, 100th, 1000th, but I'm not a mathematician. So scoreboard player set at P, score 1 0, and then you're going to do this for each individual score 1, score 10, score 100. So I'm going to quickly run through these so you can pause. I'll open it up. And give you options to pause. So there's not much I'm actually talking about right now, so don't worry about missing this. Oh, whoops. That's just one extra 0 there. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. And they should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one. See how they differ? They're different by 1 digit, so it's very easy to have missed these. Right, so that should be all of them. You should have, up until there, you should have 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as I accidentally deleted one, I'm going to double check my machine still works. Yeah, right. So from that, so that's 10 that sets all the scores for those 10 command blocks up there to 0. You need to do that because you keep hold of the score up until you run the machine again. So you don't want to cause any confusion. And I didn't have it before, so when I was developing it. But this one, this is the one you're going to need to change if you want it to work for different machines. Because what you're doing is scoreboard players operation at P score check equals at P money. So you're transferring the score for their money to score check at that time. We don't do it constantly. We just do it this once when we're checking it. So because this is what this machine interacts with this scoreboard, the score check, rather than the money, so we don't ruin what money or whatever score you're tracking. So if you do this machine over and over again in your world, if you want to clone it after you've built it once, then this is what you're going to need to change to whatever score you want to compare. So you can still have the same scoreboard for score check for either one, because this is only in use when you run the machine. And then from that we're going to set block. Obviously you have to change this because the coordinates would change if you move it. So we're going to fill all behind here with redstone block. So it's going to activate all of these command blocks, and they will actually run from this one, from the highest to lowest, and these are a load of ones that are all different as well, by 1 digit. So I'm going to start from this end, and then it's going to get higher in zeros. So what it does is it repeatedly executes at the closest player. Scoreboard players remove at self scores equals score check equals 1 to 9, score check 1. So it's going to remove 1 of their score check if they've got 1 to 9, or 10 to 99, 100 to 999, and so on when we look at the other ones. And it's going to repeatedly do that, and then if it's successful, it's going to add the closest player score 1, 1, and then score 10, 1, score 100, 1, and so on when we look at the other ones. So this is how it converts each digit in the score into a separate number on each one. So I'll go through and quickly show you the command block so you can pause. So that's the first one. The second one. See, what it's going to do is this is going to increase by a 0, and this is going to increase by 1, 9, and this is going to increase by a 0 as you go along. So you'll see that's the only differences between the command block. So again, the way I built it was I used control click to put them all down and then increase them by the separate ones. So an extra 0, extra 9, extra 0. And again. And again. And again. And an extra 0, extra 9, extra 0. So copy and paste will help, but that can be bad if you don't do it, if you don't put the right amount of zeros in equal 9s. Extra 0, extra 9, extra 0 from the last one. And then last is this one doesn't have the 9s. We just use the 2 dots to anything over 1 billion, sorry. Because you can't go up to 9 billion anyway. So you could write the whatever the highest is, 2.1 billion, but you might as well just do the dots because it's only ever going to look at players at the maximum anyway. And then the conditional. So just to note, all these were chain, always active, unconditional. That one's an impulse, redstone activated. These are all repeat, needs redstone, unconditional. And these ones are all chain, conditional, always active, as we only want it to run if the previous one was true. So these are again only different by 1 digit or 2 digit, no 1 digit, sorry. So scoreboard players add at P score 1 1, and then it's going to go up just for the separate score that all these scoreboards we added. So it's going to add 1 to each one if the previous one managed to minus 1, to minus whatever digit it's minusing. So this is just going to be score 10, score 100, score 1000, and so on. So I'll quickly run through these so you can pause. So that's score 100, score 1000, score 10,000, score 100,000, score million, score 10 million, score 100 million, and then score 1 billion. So what we've done by now is converted all of, we've transferred the money score, whatever score you wanted to showcase, into separate. We've taken each digit. So if I had the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9, and we've separated it to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 in separate scoreboards. Now instead of running if they had a score of 1 on 1, say this, what I've done is then we're going to transfer those separate scores into each tell raw command. So we'll look at that in a second. So what we're then going to do is from your score check for 1 to 9, you're going to run a comparator out, because the way this works is all of them are activated, but all of these, if they've got, it will convert these ones first, because then if they had 1 billion, it will remove 1 billion and they'll be left with 100,000, and then it will just keep activating these all until it gets to the lowest number, and then it will put them to 0 on the score check. That's why we don't do it on the money, because it eventually puts them to 0. So this will activate, and then once this is done, it will deactivate, which will turn this torch off and then turn it back on again. So you want a comparator running into a block with a redstone torch attached to the block pointing into these command blocks. So we've got an impulse redstone active to fill the same area that has the redstone blocks to air, so that's this area here. And then unconditional always active chain, scoreboard players set at all entities, type equals armstand, name equals score check 10. This name can change to whatever you want to call it, but that's the name of the armstand behind me. We're going to set them to 10 on score check. This is a countdown, so we can count down each number, because it's going to run the next machine 10 times. then we're doing a tell raw, because I think this is the neater way, but these can change, and this can change. I'm just doing a tell raw for your balance is, so that just sets the first phrase saying your balance is, and then it's going to run the next machine is, and then the next one is going to set block to redstone block. This coordinates will change for you, so we're going to set this block here to a redstone block. We're going to have a repeating need redstone to set the block above it to air. The reason why I do it repeating is if it clogs up in any way, it won't clog up as it's repeating rather than impulse. This machine, I built this bit separate to this because I built this one first, but this could be on this. You just got to still trigger it 10 times, sorry. But you want a repeater with some tick delay, so 4 would do, and then you want a piston, sticky piston with a block on that will accept redstone, and so it can be pushed. So this would only run when this is on. So I'll look at this one, and we could just do a scoreboard test for the armor stand to have 1 to 10 on the score check. So this only runs 10 times, and then for the last time it will miss, but you'll see that in a second. So as soon as we set the score to 10, this piston will activate, making the machine ready to go, and then we'll run through these ones. So this will run first before it runs this one. So you could have this whole line here before this as one long line, but I didn't want to move it because I did that one first and then did this one, and then it didn't have room. So you're executing at the armor stand. These are all, I believe these are all the same, just different by a few digits. So name equals score check, scores equals 10, scoreboard players operation, P at P score check equals at P score 1 million, sorry. So what we are doing is we are transferring the separate digit on the score, each score for each digit to score check. So we don't have to run this machine for each 10 scoreboards, we can just run it off this one now. So I'll leave these for you to pause, but these are just going to be different by 1 digit. So we're going to change this down from 10 to 9, and we're going to remove 1 0 here, and we're going to do that for each score of the armor stand. So 8 and 1 removed here, then 7, 1 removed here, 6, 1 removed here, well 0 removed, 5, 1 0 removed, 4, 1 0 removed, 3, 1 0 removed, 2, 1 0 removed, and then 1, and then another 0 removed. So they're all the same. This is why I say you need to be careful. You don't want to get this all wrong, and it will take a while to kind of debug. So then for this one, because this is what's going to activate afterwards, you want to do, this is all going to change. Your scoreboard players remove, the next ones are all going to change by 1 digit. Scoreboard players remove all entities, type is armor star, name equals score check 1. So it's going to remove 1 from the 10 each time. So that's how it loops. And then you're going to have 10 command blocks, all with a few digits change, so it's execute at all players, tell raw at self, scores equal, if they've got the score check 0, raw text, this is the JSON text part, so copy that over. You don't have to use tell raw, you can use title, you can use whatever you want in this part, but make sure you've got that target selector, and then you tell them 0, and then you probably guessed already, we're gonna go up by 1, so score check 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5, 6 6, 7 7, 8 8, and then 9 9, and then we're going to set block to redstone again, redstone block over here, so that's the same as that other one, and then that's why it loops until, that's why this has a piston to stop it from looping. So I believe I've got every command block. We're looking at almost a 30-minute video here, so I'm really sorry how long it is, but there's just a lot to cover and I've been as quick as I can. Remember, you're going to want to probably re-watch this, redo this. Is going to take you a while to put together, so please double check everything before I get flooded with it doesn't work comments, because 9 times out of 10 all those comments have then been fixed because they missed something or they accidentally put a typo in. So double check every command block before coming back to the comments. If you need help, I can try and explain it the best I can in the comments if you're stuck, so don't worry. Please like and comment the video, but just double check everything. Keep an eye on if you think you have got everything and it's still something, there's a bug, keep an eye on the description, because any known bugs or issues that I do encounter that I haven't encountered yet, the machine is running. I've done loads of testing last night and today, so I will put any bugs that I know and I am aware of and any fixes to those bugs in the description. So well, thank you very much for staying with me. Hopefully this, I might do one, if it's wanted, I might do one that converts it into signs, but you can use this base concept to convert the score into whatever you want. So I shall see you again next time. Thank you.